Call to order the Vermilion County Council meeting for December 11th. If you please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have Kelly turn his mic on. Your mic.
He's got it.
Oh, you got it. Oh, it's the next one. Okay. Thank you. All right, thanks. Roll call. Mr. Costello. Mr. Somerville.
Here.
Ms. Brown. Here. Ms. James, I'm present. Mr. Weir. Mr. Bose.
Here.
And Mr. Brown.
Here.
All right. First, we have our approval of minutes from our November 13th meeting. Are there any comments, corrections that need to be made regarding those minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay.
Sorry.
I have a motion for Mr. Somerville, a second for Mr. Brown to approve the November 13th, 2023 council minutes. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. Minutes are approved. Next, we have our monthly treasurer report and the interest report. Are there any questions regarding it? Anything? All right, moving along. We have several transfers this evening, transfer of funds. Some require a vote and some do not. Our first one does require a vote. Our first one is the Parks Department. We are transferring $965 from Labor and Maintenance and $715.66 from Clerical Assistant, in total of $1,680.66 to the board members. This is to cover the additional stipend we give them for the restrooms for each month. So we just need a vote on that one.
Have their own fund?
Yes, it's just,
Yeah.
these are all
Yeah.
within their own funds, just account line to account line.
It won't shorten their maintenance stuff, will it?
No, they've gone through all the expenses they expect to have for the year, so everything should be okay.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion for Mr. Bose, a second for Mr. Brown, to approve the $1,680.66 transfer for the Parks Department. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. Transfer is approved. Our next transfer also requires a vote. It is in the courthouse budget. We are transferring $500 from travel, $400 from the grounds, to $900 in part-time help to add for part-time help for the end of the year.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. I'll second. Okay. I have a motion from Mr. Brown, a second from Ms. Brown, to approve the $900 transfer for the courthouse part-time help. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. Transfer is approved. Our next transfer also requires a vote. It is also for the courthouse. We are moving $1,914.78 from safety equipment to the HVAC maintenance. This is to cover the cost of the Gibson bills due to having to replace probation's entire unit.
They're having troubles with all of them, aren't they?
I think there's been a lot of problems.
Yeah. I make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion from Mr. Bose, a second from Mr. Somerville to approve the transfer of $1,914.78 in the courthouse HVAC maintenance budget line item. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed state no. Transfer is approved. Our last one that requires a vote this evening is for the surveyor auditor. It is $35 from the dues and subscription to the part-time help. This is just to cover the shortage for the year, so $35.
Make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Somerville, a second from Mr. Brown to approve the $35 transfer. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. Transfer is approved. And if you will look, we have several that are non-reporting, or they're reporting only. We do not have to vote on them. So if there's any questions you do have, we have the Highway Department, Area Plan, Circuit Court, Commissioners, another Highway, Economic Development, Extension, and the Public Safety one. I do want to mention that there is a transfer in here for the Public Safety. It is to fund the tasers and body cameras. At our last council meeting in November, there was a lot of discussion about the reoccurring payments after the 5-year initial contract. The initial proposal that was brought to us was paying it from the improvement fund. However, the improvement fund is a one-time source of money we got from the federal government. It would not cover past the 5 years. We have opted to fund it out of public safety. That way it has a reoccurring revenue stream with it. This transfer is so they can get that contract started. We are transferring current monies that are not being used in 2023 into a line item to cover those body cameras and tasers so they can get that contract started. It does not require a vote this evening because it is in the same series of budget line items, but I wanted to bring that to note because I know that has been a topic of question. So I wanted to make sure everyone understood that that is included in these transfers. So. Are there any other questions about any of the other reporting only transfers? No? Okay, we'll move along then. Additional appropriations this evening, we have one. We have one additional appropriation for CASA in the amount of $23,500. This is to clean up our budget appropriation. When we did the budget for 2023, we still had some questions for CASA and things didn't get approved, not knowing her complete budget. So this is to finish the 2023 amounts that she needed. Are there any questions on that one? Anybody? We were able to get more information this year on the 24 budget, so we shouldn't have this trouble next year.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion from Mr. Somerville, a second from Mr. Bose to approve the $23,500 for CASA. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. Appropriation approved. That was our only additional this evening. So, we do have on the agenda the Sheriff's Office additional. We had tabled it. However, we have addressed that with the transfer instead from the public safety, like I mentioned earlier. And so if there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer them, but as far as that is on the agenda, we'll keep moving along if not. Okay. We do not have any old business, so we're on to new business. First, we have a presentation for the Ernie Pyle Veterans Memorial Park. Mr. Steve Key and Luke Waltz are here this evening. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. President James, members of the council, I am Steve Key, and I am the current president of the Friends of Ernie Pyle. As I'm sure you all know, we operate the Ernie Pyle World War II Museum in Dana. With me is Luke Waltz with Land Stewards Design Group out of Indianapolis. And we're here to give you a little information on a project that we are very excited about and committed to see become a reality. And that is the Ernie Pyle Memorial or Ernie Pyle Memorial and Veterans Park, which would be located just north of the birthplace and the adjacent museum. We see this similar to the project that we were able to do this earlier this summer when we brought the Vietnam Traveling Memorial Wall. Obviously, it was something we held dear to our heart, but it really became a community event with hundreds of volunteers and sponsors that made it happen. And I think everybody in Vermilion County, I think, felt pretty good about that event and what it meant. I know seeing some of these veterans who, with tears in their eyes, going up there to find people they knew and everything. I mean, it was very touching and all. Similarly, we see that this park is going to be something that's not just a benefit to the museum and those who are there to honor Ernie Pyle, but it'll also be a benefit to the entire community with the park and some of the amenities that are with it. And we hope that everybody in this room will feel the same way. Right now, I'd like to turn it over to Luke and let him kind of go through what we're envisioning. And then when he's done, the two of us will be glad to try to answer any kind of questions you might have. So I'll turn it over to Luke right now.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks again. Luke Waltz. I work in Indy, but actually work remote. I live in Rockville, so Park County, and grew up, know a lot of people in Vermilion County, and I'm very aware of Ernie Pyle, growing up, coming in and visit with my school group as a kid. So it's kind of a full circle for me to be able to give back in our region and be a part of this project. So thanks again to the Friends of Ernie Pyle for bringing us on. Land Steward Design Group, just to give you a quick background, we're landscape architects and civil engineers. So we do all kinds of parks and recreation work, and this project is one that we're really excited about. So we'll just jump right in and give you just an informational overview about the park, the history of the project, and where we are now. So really early on, about a year and a half ago, I think I was had some conversations about what this could be, and the initial idea was a sculpture, something to recognize Ernie Pyle and kind of give a little bit more. Everybody knows what he looks like, but a human, something you can engage with, right? You can get up next to him, maybe sit next to him. And Bill Wolf was the artist that was commissioned to do that. You'll see some photos of that here in a little bit. But the project goals, it's hard for you to see maybe, but really it's to promote awareness, create community, and honor history. So those three goals are really the basis of this project, and bringing new life into Dana, into this location at the heart of town. And we have been in the visioning and concept process for about a year, and we just recently moved into schematic design, honing in on some of the features on site, getting a topographic survey, and understanding more about the property. And soon we'll be moving into final design, and hopefully in the next year and a half into construction documentation and actually building the park project. So I'll flip to the next slide real quick. This is the existing condition plan, and a little bit more, you're all familiar, I'm sure, with the property, but one of our early inventory and analysis maps, and this is our preliminary schematic plan. Some things may still have some design detailing to work out, but I'll just run through in the slides to follow a little bit of a zoom in on each of these particular areas. The first one is the Ernie Pyle Memorial Sculpture. So this will be a plaza kind of geared towards the little circle in the middle would be where Ernie is going to sit. And there's a little image over there of Ernie in Progress by Bill Wolf, and an image of potentially what that could look like. Something that you can maybe get up and sit next to, and Ernie kind of in his World War II garb. Bill has done a great job in putting together a life-size clay model of what Ernie would look like with the typewriter and the sandbags. And this is ready to go to the foundry, very close to being ready to go to the foundry. We're really excited about this. We think it gives the character qualities that we would want to see, minus the cigarette in his hand. But everything else, this is spot on of what would be a representation of Ernie Pyle. And that's the centerpiece of the whole project, the reason this place is in existence. But to kind of further that, we believe the community green space would tremendously help the community, something that people can gather in, maybe have events, host concerts or farmers markets, something like that. And working with a local architect, we'll be putting together some conceptual plans for what that pavilion could look like, and there's some imagery of other parks that do similar things at the same scale. You're fine. You can click to the next one. And this is what kind of an overview of that could look like potentially. So kind of oriented kind of northwest a little bit, maybe tilted a little bit farther to the north to give kind of an elongated oval shape for maximum seating capacity, maximum space for that event lawn. And yeah, here's kind of a quick diagram of maybe how much you could fit in terms of people and sizing. So anywhere from 350 to 500 people, maybe up to 700, depending on how closely everybody sits and what type of event that is. And the next area is kind of off to the northeast corner of the property, would be the Pyle Legacy Walk. So this component is really interesting. The first piece is geared towards Ernie Pyle and his particular contribution. This would be his legacy and what that means in terms of the military legacy, what that means in terms of the journalism legacy, and everything surrounding what he has done for veterans and active servicemen. This is a really great component too. So currently off to the east side of the Ernie Pyle birthplace house, it's just kind of a grassy lawn, but when veterans come here, we believe that not only veterans that have served and recovered and kind of entered back into society well, there's also going to be veterans that come back here and want to have some sort of, they may have issues kind of with the PTSD and other things, and have a space for mental health recognition and kind of the combat veteran component, and bringing awareness and education to that mental health and PTSD component. This would be a garden that's more sensory based. You have smell and touch and all the different components of something that's more therapeutic. And a representation of what that could hopefully look like. So how do we break this up and actually get this thing built? We're working with the Friends to figure out what the most important priorities are in terms of functionality, but also what elements we really want to see to get momentum going. We think the primary thing is the restrooms need updated significantly. Right now, you currently have to go into the basement to go to a restroom facility of the home, and I think there is maybe a porta potty outside, but we want to have on-site restrooms that are ADA compatible, and phase one would be the restroom renovation of the existing building there, which is a garage. So we would use half of that garage and designated that to kind of adequate ADA compliant restroom facilities. Phase two would be the Ernie Pyle sculpture itself, and then 3, 4, and 5 would follow suit with more of the community and event spaces to follow. Kind of the big picture, we just had a meeting actually at the library to just talk about donor opportunities and funding sources and how we can kind of pull this whole thing together. We have a couple different tiers of donor levels. There will be naming donor opportunities for larger corporations and businesses who may want to donate. A bank or entity may want to have the community green space as their namesake, or the performance pavilion as a namesake. So all of these are really great opportunities for different folks to enter into kind of giving back into the legacy of what Ernie Pyle has done, what the community kind of rolled into this project. So all of these different elements are specific places you could donate, but we also have other options, and that's actively being discussed with the group right now. That's it. That's a quick overview. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We are really excited about this, and while some people may ask, well, you know, Ernie Pyle was about World War II, you know, why are we tying this into Veterans Today? But a lot of people don't know that it was Ernie Pyle who suggested during World War II that those who were actually in combat should get what he called fight pay. And the U.S. Congress listened to him and passed the Ernie Pyle bill, which created combat pay, which military, ever since starting in World War II and ever since, receive if they are actually in harm's way. So we feel that Ernie is going to always be tied to the veterans of our country, and that's why we're kind of excited about combining both of those things. And if you look at the elements, I mean, obviously, selfishly, getting ADA compliant restrooms are important to us. I mean, I'm sure that you've all been to the museum. It is an excellent museum. But as we are now, if we do have maybe an old veteran or somebody, if they can't do stairs, you know, their only option if they have to go to the restroom right now is a porta potty. And that takes away what we think from the experience, but we think it's an excellent little museum. So the restrooms will help us, but it'll also, the restrooms will be available so that when the project is complete, if you have an event there or other groups are having an event, whether it's a wedding, if it's a music event, the Firefighters Festival, there will be those permanent ADA restrooms available that can be used by other community groups and other events that are going on. So there's that benefit there. You know, we think the statue, you know, is going to be something for people to come and see. And, you know, on days, you know, sometimes people show up to the museum and we're not always open. With the statue and the legacy area, they'll still be able to get something out of coming to Dana, because as well know, you don't just stumble on Dana, you got almost want to go there. So that'll be a benefit to anybody who's visiting and to the community. Obviously, when we have a covered stage, you know, it's going to be able to be used for all these different events. And you know, we think that overall, for the community, this creates another reason for people to say, I want to live in Vermilion County. They've got something neat going on here, and there are things that are happening in Vermilion County, and I don't have to move to Indianapolis or somewhere else to have that quality of life that I'm looking for. So we think it's kind of like it's a community benefit. We're not just looking at it at ourselves. Obviously, it's a big project. I don't know if you saw the price tag. You know, to finish it all the way through to having the covered stage and everything. You know, we're talking anywhere from $800,000 to a little bit over $1 million. We don't have that in our back pocket right now. So, you know, we are going to be examining lots of funding opportunities, grants. You know, we may be coming to the council either to help with particular projects or for letters of support when we're going after maybe state grants and things along those lines. But we want to at least let you know what we're working on, so if you come to you later on, you're like, what's this all about? So we'd be glad to answer any kind of questions that you might have, and again, we thank you for giving us some time.
I do have a question.
Sure.
First, it looks like a beautiful design. It really does. And then second, do you have a timeline of when you're hoping to start or complete the project?
Well, obviously, it all depends on when the money comes in, and by doing it in phases, you know, we're hopefully, you know, we hope to have, you know, start moving dirt and start working on at least phase one, which is the creation of the restrooms in what is currently kind of a garage. So we hope that it will start, if nothing else, on that part of the phase one in this coming year. Depending on how fast we can move with other things, you know, it could take us another couple of years, it could take us longer. We've got really a lot of support for the idea of the bronze statue. So I really think that that's part of phase two. I think phase one and phase two will move along pretty quickly. Probably the most expensive part is going to be the actual like stage kind of deal. That's going to take more money. We're going to have to build up and get the funding for that. So that could take a little bit longer. But you know, with some of the other parts, you know, with the gardens and things along those lines, you know, we've already got people in the community that are stepping forward. that want to help with in ways that they can. Commissioner Yoakum has said, hey, I'll commit to helping with the excavating. We've got other individuals who are going to help with like planting of trees. We've got a lot of the money that's already being kind of pledged for the actual statue. So I don't want to get too far ahead and make promises that we can't keep, but I do think it'll be pretty far along and people start seeing things in 2024 and on.
Thank you.
Any other question?
A phone number if we need to get a hold of you,
If you want to get a hold of me,
or someone.
yeah, I'm the president, so that'd be fine. My cell phone number is 317-509-1507. I'll be glad to give you my email address. It's all lowercase, Steve Key, then the numerals 5389@gmail.com.
5389.
Yes, after Steve Key, yeah.
At
At gmail.com.
thank you, sir.
And feel free to reach out anytime, either by phone or email.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was great.
Do you have a total on that?
I don't have, they wanted to wait to see how all the bills were paid off.
Okay. So also in new business, I do need to talk about the Parks Department.
Yes,
No.
you did, Neil. What happens when you come in late?
New tracker.
In past years, they have asked if we would transfer the remaining balances into their capital improvement account, any money that they didn't use during 2023. It would be an additional appropriation in 2024 in the amount of whatever they don't spend in December. So I would like to just kind of get your guys' approval for them to be able to do that, so that way in January we can fill out that additional appropriation request. So, yeah, Wayne and Becky are both here in case we need to ask questions. We have done it in the past for them, but before we go through all the paperwork and everything, we want to make sure that it was, I guess if we get approval of the council to vote for an approval or a motion for them to be able to do that. That way we don't waste anyone's time if there's no. Yeah, you want to?
Is it not on none of this?
Huh?
No.
It's not in there.
We have
Oh,
done
okay.
this several years because things don't get finished. I know we came and asked for more money for restrooms, and you gave us 15 grand to finish Blandford and Dana restrooms, and they are finished. Everything's done. Come spring, all we gotta do is turn the water on, open the door, they're ready to use. We have 2 restrooms to finish, and then all the parks in the county will have flushable toilets in them, with the exception of Trailhead. But it will get a brand new pit toilet, and the reason that is because there's no electric or water there, so that's all we can do there. But and then Ernie Powell rest area is a total remodel job. It needs to be it's trashed. It's old, and the doors have been kicked in, and we've got to do some serious work there. But we have a lot of the materials already bought, but the rest of the money will go for getting that done. And I think the last meeting, Brenda, if I'm right, when Hope gave me a budget, we had like $45,000 left, and we have got some bills coming in, and that's going to be down. I'm guessing it's going to be under 20, that we're going to need to just move forward to work on this stuff next year.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Mike Bob
that's-
sent some today, some
Yeah,
bills
yeah,
today.
that's what we're doing.
And during budget hearings, because I know we didn't approve the total request when we approved for like the remainder 2 bathrooms, but there is also, I believe, $15,000 in the certified shares budget that goes towards the parks for your projects next
Yes,
year too.
yes.
Yeah.
If someone pulls your parks department, I didn't want them to think that there was no additional money.
Yeah.
We just had to pull it from a different fund. That's why it's not on the same
Right,
sheet.
I seen that.
But, okay, I just want to make sure that
Yep.
that was
Yep. But yeah, so, and that's what I talked to Brenda and I talked to Hope also about doing this, because we've done it every year that I've been involved in it at the end of the year, because we always, you know, our seasonal employees run out in November, and we've got a couple things to finish up, and we can't get done by the end of the year, so they can only do what they can do, and that's where we're at. So come spring, we'll have a head start. We can go ahead and get some stuff ordered and have it sitting there. When they get here, we can get going. That's what we do. So thank
Thanks
you
for the
very much.
update.
Are you still looking for trees?
I don't know what the situation is on the trees. Brenda, have you got an update on any of it, insurance-wise, or?
Well, the insurance is on hold due to the money that we're getting, that the county should be getting. Mark O'Hara is supposed to be getting back to me. He did, but he didn't have it separated out, so
Okay.
now I think he's.
Okay, all right, yeah, there's supposed to be
In
some
process.
money coming for that, but I don't know if it's insurance or through the state's gonna give us trees, or what we're doing with that.
Okay.
But that's where we're at on them.
Before you pay anything for them, let me know, because I was looking into maybe getting a tree spade, and would you guys work with me on that if I went out and dug you some trees, or
I suppose, yeah.
tell me what kind you want, and
We'll see what we can do, yeah.
save a lot of money.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
all right,
thanks.
yep.
Okay. We need a motion to go ahead and approve. Yeah, just in case. Is there a motion to allow the Parks Department to reuse the remaining budget that's unused for 2023 and file that as an additional appropriation in January of 2024?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion from Mr. Brown, a second from Mr. Weir, to allow the Parks Department to ask for additional appropriation in the amount of their unused 2023 budget. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed state no. Okay. Everyone approved.
I would like to abstain from the vote because I wasn't here for the whole conversation on that one. so-
No problem. All right. The next item of new business is our resolution 2023-19. This is the 2024 salary resolution. It is the compensation for employees and officials for the year 2024. This will require a motion and vote to approve. Or if anyone has any questions first, please let me know.
Who is the drug interdiction officer?
Is that drug interdiction officer?
That's that additional program. It's not one officer,
Oh,
it's
it's-
multiple.
Okay, it's just got
Just a
drug
set
interdiction
amount.
officer with an amount.
Correct.
That's the amount that we
Okay.
pay for the, it could vary depending on
I think
who's
there's
available.
Up to four,
I
if I
think
remember correctly.
4 or
Yeah.
6.
Okay,
Uh,
so it's not just one, it's,
No, it's basically a pot that they split out whoever's working
Yeah.
the shifts.
I'll make a motion to approve the salaries.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Somerville, a second from Mr. Bose to approve Resolution 2023-19. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed state no. Okay, resolution is approved. And our last item of business tonight is Resolution 2023-20, closing of inactive funds and transferring the balances. These are funds that have not been used in the past several years. They just have balances, so they will be closed out and transferred to the general fund. 2 of them have 1 penny in them, and the other is the CASA fund, which we've been funding out of general, so it's just moving the money from several years ago that never got moved into general, of $5,225.26. The CDIP fund for 1 penny, and the emergency planning grant fund of 1 penny. So, we'll need a motion and a second on that one too.
I'll make that motion.
All right, I'll second. I have a motion from Mr. Weir, a second from Ms. Brown, to approve Resolution 2023-20, the closing of inactive funds and transferring balances. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. The resolution is approved. That is the end of our agenda this evening. Is there any public comment? No, nothing? All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn then.
Make a motion.
A second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you.